It's a Monday, which means I'm streaming. And I'm back in the UK. And we got some Pokemon to discuss, I guess. I'm quickly going to check something while I hope to be live. Here we go. We are live. Nectar. Oh yeah, this needs blower. Where the hell is my blower slot? Oh, EXP share's so good. Don't want to get rid of him. Too powerful. I wonder if Pedro played Judges. He did not play Judges. But if it's going to be more Sylveon, we need to play a Judge. Is one Judge going to be enough? I guess the Zygarde wins us that anyway, so we cut that for the blower. Sean, how's it going? Doomsday, how's it going? Mad Captain with the tier 1 sub for the 7th month in a row. Thank you so much. Welcome back to the little Jimmy Club. Let me get rid of display capture. I didn't even realise display capture was on. But anyway. Oh god, my computer's already decided to die. Yeah, good. Yeah, give me a sec while I try and recalibrate everything. Christ. JMU boy, how's it going? Destroyer King. Loving the Steelix Warlord. Yeah, we'll be discussing that today and more. You laughed so hard when you saw that deck. I mean, Sanders, the man, he's been playing Mill for like 3 years. And he will always make a way for it to work. And yeah, it really worked. So props to him. Sanders' list was the best. He created some interesting stream moments. By interesting, I mean fully uninteresting. But that's how the deck tries to win the game. Yeah, it is a big brain list. It would have taken him a long time to create the 60. So I'm playing a Zygarde now, because Sylveon and Wales are annoying. And I'm trying out Buzzrock, because it's the deck I probably should have played at the tournament, but didn't. Jet's coming in any minute now, and so is Luke as well. So, should be a packed schedule for the next 2 hours. We'll look at the Frankfurt results and talk about what they mean for the next tournament. Did I or did I not say people need to play Guru? I mean, it was very low percentile of play, but it did shenanigans. So we can't get a KO on this. Do I want to just develop a Rockruff? I think I do. Don't think the Zygarde being put down does much here. I don't think Diancie does much, but it doesn't really hurt us either. I think the Rockruff being on the board means he probably carries that before anything else. If he just DC carries the active, do I want to have this to go into? Yes. And we have Guzma outs if we draw energy. Okay. Just Mill, Arse Agent Silver? Yeah, it's a Mill variant. Thank you for the 1-bit, Benji. Hope you had a good weekend. Got pretty far with this deck here, Zora Rock. Fighting Box. It's just Buzzrock, really, but it plays one Zygarde because of the mill that's turned up in the meta. What does he want to KO here? I hope not the monkey. Yeah, the dance isn't not the worst knockout for him. Let us have our Rockruff, though, which is nice. Okay. I think the more pressing issue is the lack of judge. Yeah, I'm surprised that like there were four. There's the 4 judge variant of Zora Rock that Pendy played, and it doesn't feel like many people took that count into consideration. May have been off-putting for some wannabe Sylveon players, but not all of them apparently. Minimads feels bad, man. Yeah, Doomsday, you're completely right. You can definitely capitalize on the 1 Dawn Wings. I think that'll be a count that changes going into the next tournament. So just letting us have the 4 prize turn, which is kind of him. I mean, we need to guarantee energy, but we want to hit loads of B-strings and all sorts, so I want to smooth over a supporter card, I think. This was not a bad card to hold, but I want to have the most odds. Missing energy is a real feels bad man moment, but if we hit energy B-string, I think we're absolutely chilling. We want to put this in our hand and we'll just kill the Ultra Ball. If we Lycanroc Gust, he can take us right off, so I think we just KO the active here. Okay, we drew energy. No B-strings, but we can hopefully sort that out next turn. We have enough insta-play cards. No EXP share either, which is also a big deal, but just surviving right now. Hey, Tortoise, how's it going? Do we know more than the top 8? Yeah, we do. Max, you didn't expect Sylveon? Ooh, a judge. It's not the worst outcome for us. Ooh, yeah. There's no point, mate. This can't do anything. Embarrassing. Oh no. Whee! Got the nest ball though. It's gonna be fine. Mate. DJ, thank you so much for the sub. That's awesome. Welcome to the little Jimmy Club for your 7th month in a row. Am I playing 20 energy? No. Play 12. 10 fighting, 1 DC and a beast. That was embarrassing. Missing the Ultra Ball that I burned. I mean, we didn't draw into the Lichen Rocks, so... What a load of brown. Yeah. Not great. Going second leading slug. That sucks. We don't even have energy, so we can't do like a Guzma KO. 12 and T energy, yeah. Jack apologized, saying that he should have played Sylveon. Yeah, we did try it for the last couple... We literally tried it on, I think it was Thursday night. No, it must have been earlier. It may have been Tuesday night. Tuesday or Wednesday, we did some testing. And hilariously enough, the reason we dropped it was because, personally, from our testing, Vikaray annihilates Sylveon. But if you look at the final... the approach that was taken by Gonzalo was terrible. Straight up terrible, in my opinion. Because, for me, if Ray goes for its Plan A approach, it just overwhelms Sylveon quite often. That's me and Jack's experience with the deck. But, I don't know. A Chiave deck. I feel like I want to get the Buzz GX down. Rabbi as well, thank you so much for the sub. I forgot that it's like the first of the month today, so everyone's going to be doing it. Welcome back, my dude. This is fine. Energy. Poggers. Protecting the Slugma's really important. We only play one and I don't play a stretcher. Even removing an energy off this Salandit is going to be good. Mad Captain, you only watched the final? Yeah. I mean, me and Jack tested, I think, 6 games. Vikaray versus Sylveon. And if the Ray is worried about Sylveon attacking, just don't be, because you stop them chaining knockouts by just knocking out their stuff. They pretty much get one attack off on a Ray, and you're fine with that. Thank you so much, Super Ginger Kid, for the resub as well. Welcome back to the crew. Enjoy your emote. Why are we sleeving up Steelix? When am I sleeving up Steelix? Not soon. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, so we can definitely get the Diancie out and go this way about things. So 10, 12, 14, 17 if he goes attached choice band. So I think we can pressurize this. I'm so rusty with Buzz Rock. I remember that attaching things is always really important, but I'm super rusty. Because this list plays EXP shares and DCs now, so it's different from what I know. I don't think I'll ever sleeve up Steelix. I think Sander is one of the only men who could make that work in a tournament as prevalent as that. Huge props to him. So we go. Wait, we prize both our. Oh boy. Today's an absolute fiesta, I tell you. Just another day. Sivros, thank you so much for the follow, dude. B-String is a good card. So we're already at 160. I guess we choice band here just because. Tablemon hosting for the one viewer. Thank you so much, Tablemon. Don't think I want to burn the B string. Don't think it's correct. This looks pretty poggers. He's taken 3 prizes. This will have 90 damage on, so it'll be 110, which we can hit with this anyway. So I think we are using absorption. Can try and make Tangrowth Shaman work for Harrogate. Is Ninetales GX meta? Currently not. The new one's going to be good. That has a really high chance to be paired with Buzzwole because the Alolan Vulpix are water. So you can Brooklet Hill out the Vulpixes, and then the Fairy GX can get you like B-Strings and other key pieces. When will OmniPoke join the retirement farm? Not any day soon, Mark. Do I regret not bringing Nessie as temptation? I mean, Vicaray was like very highly played in Frankfurt. I think possibly the most played deck in Frankfurt. So, um, I would say whoever brought Lapras wouldn't have had a great day. Still dreaming big. Yeah, I still enjoy the game, Mark. Even though I didn't have a great weekend in Frankfurt. It's all part and parcel. You gotta have the highs. I mean, you gotta expect some lows as well. That's part of the whole thing. Remember the question the other day on how many judge I play? Yeah. I do realise why it's important now, yeah. Learned a lot this weekend. My cat went to a farm when I was younger. Good lord. Oh, hello, Sylveon. I've teched for you, bud. We've put in a Zygarde. But I did bench an Oranguru, so we can still lose. Great. Let's take 6 mulligans. There's Zygarde. I guess we pop him down. I gotta think about this. I won't put him down just yet. He got judged 5 times in 9 rounds. That's insane. What did I play? We'll talk about it in a bit when Jack comes in. At the moment, he's just doing the data for CCG. He's doing the graphic. Luke should be here any minute as well. Heavy Tortoise, you're looking forward to play Lapras? I think Lapras would have a good Sylveon matchup. Plays so many energy and energy recovery. And you can't Guzma stall anything because you have washout. Maybe I'm being dumb though. They still play a lot of hammers, and Plumeria can eventually get to you. You don't have the energy acceleration of EXP share. Bulu? Bulu's the only thing that plays Aether Paradise, right? Let's draw a card. I think I do want to put this down. Like pizza and Xerneas. We're like 2 peas in a pod, you and me. Taftok. How does Espeon Wob match a Sylveon? If you lead Wob, it's free. We're in the 4th month of July. Jardim, how's it going? What's the play? I couldn't tell you, man. Everything's gone haywire. We'll talk about it when we look at the results. What deck's the easiest for a new player to pick up at the moment? Some Ho-Oh Kiawes did well this weekend. Those are pretty easy to run. What do I want to do on my first turn here? I really don't even know what I want to do. I think I'm just attaching to a bench Rockruff or something. Something along those lines. No, if he's playing Delmires, we need to get something else out. We need to get Daddy Buzz out, huh? I think I want to just Cynthia this hand. I think the hand is pretty poor. But Lele space is really annoying. Potentially just bring up the other Grubbin and going 30-30 isn't the worst. We have this just in case. There's no Broody presented on the board just yet. Let's go for this. We can Kukui next turn, finish off the Grubbin. And I don't know if I want to put down second Rockruff. I don't feel like we will be able to Lycanroc too much because of the Delmires. We'll see how this goes. See how strong his hand is. You can buy all the Christmas stuff already and it's only July. Oh, the July memes. Incredible. I saw mince pies on sales today at the airport. I don't know if mince pies are a UK thing or if it's a thing everywhere. So now we can use a real supporter instead of Kukui. I like the sound of that. But we won't have space for the Guru Sluggy engine, and I love that engine. Let's Kukui. Let's keep attaching energy cards, because it forces him to knock this out and give us the 4 prize turn. Continue to threaten this. In case his hand is bad. Is this Pedro's list? No, it's close to Pedro's list. A couple of the complexity guys, Jack, Alex, and Luke all played Buzzrock. Luke was really the one testing a lot of Buzzrock over the last couple cups, and we thought that we'd made a really good list with EXP shares. Luke was he had 3 opportunities to win win 1 round to make it to top 8, and he was unsuccessful. So he got pretty unfortunate not to make top 8 with the list that we had created. So this is slightly different. But yeah, I rate this list a lot. Let's see if our other Kukui is in deck. Oh yeah, we play 3, right? Yeah, Nectar. Okay, this feels really good. So if I put another Buzz GX down, Lele for the Kukui, we can Lycanroc this Grubbin, hit it for 70, and knock this one out as well. Sounds really good. The Jet Punch plan. Attachment? No, never attachment. Feels bad, man. Means he needs to have Choice Band, and we know he didn't have Choice Band last turn or support a card, so feels pretty good. Orange Rabbits. Jack ended up playing Buzzrock. Yeah. We did test Sylveon in the final week up to the tournament, but we actually dropped it because we were worried about Rayquaza. Fabian was also 3 attempts for winning in. That sucks for him as well. That's a huge feels bad. Starting off 2-0 day 2. Just need one more win. You feel like it's there. And then it's just not there. Yeah, Rabbits, I really do think that's the case. Me and Jack tested that matchup, and it really felt like if you just go for your normal strategy, you win. I think he overcomplicated it, which is unfortunate for him. I guess it's inexperience, though. Like, I was watching the final, like, oh my goodness, what are you doing? But there'd be people who would agree with his line because they don't know the matchup either, so... But after losing game 1, I'm surprised he continued the same approach, you know. I would have thought that after seeing how game 1 went, he would have changed his approach. But oh well. Sylveon just takes the win, I guess. The Americans made fun of us because EU isn't equipped for mill. The Americans make fun of EU all the time. Over everything. So... How do you play against Sylveon? With Vicaray. You power up Rayquazas, believe it or not, because they take one-hit KOs. Attacking with Lele's gives them all the time in the world to assemble their combo and eventually grind you out. If you just kill their guys, they can't do anything. And you're saying, but wait, Joe, they can attach a DC and KO you. They can do that once. And then they lost. Americans have a weird way of showing love. Yeah, exactly. Blitz them. Even just going attack for 90 with a let loose can just win you the game as well. Like, he even spent his let loose turns on turns where he wasn't attacking, and you really want to spend your let loose turn on a turn that you attack them because it's going to be way more beneficial to you because you're actually pressurizing game. You know, that old concept. Do we burn the nest first? Sure. EXP share broken card. So we're at 120. We're at 200 minus. Okay, so I still think I do this though. Just because he's like so out of attackers, it's unreal. We can never lose from here, I don't think. He says. Lol. I wonder if Gonzalo will rewatch the finals, possibly. But it won't make for good watching. Has Beastbox ever gotten anywhere? It's not done too well in any tournament. I think it just is inferior to the Zoroark variants, which is the main thing that keeps them away. And there's one-hit KO decks out there like Vicaray now that just, again, can overwhelm a deck like that. It even actually has a bad Mally. Like, it has a lot of bad matchups. Luke's on his way. Awesome. It top 32 Philly. Yeah, but... So... you know? Busted. Busted one of DC. Mark saying that everything can make top 82. It's not a lie. Quick Jam asking if you should still test Zoro Rock. Yes. Zoro Rock is still absolutely fine. It's the deck that made day 2. It made, I think, the most slots of any deck in day 2 in Frankfurt. It was 21.82%. So 12 decks of the top 55 were Zorarok. So, yes, it's fine. Possibly an Oranguru needs to come in now if you're expecting clownery. And more judges. Even, like, you don't even need to play Monkey. You can just play more judges. And still win, I think. But if you really want to attack for Sylveon, play a Monkey. After Sander, anything can make top 8. I wouldn't discredit Sander's list though, because he is, as I say, like a lot of people can look at his list and not understand how it wins games, but Sander has taken a long time to perfect that 60 because he is the mill guy. He has been playing mill forever. Like I've never seen him at a tournament not playing mill. So he's thought of a lot of, like, every card in his list will be in there for a reason. So it's kind of a deck that I don't think anyone else should pick up. But that's not me saying it's a bad deck. I'm saying it's literally just Sander's deck. You know, that's all I can say. If we want to force the Sledgehammer turn, it is a little bit risky to put down a Lele. It does allow us to use a much better supporter, though. We could go... I mean, I could still just go Ultra Ball, attach Kukui, and still have potential Instruct. See, this is my inexperience with this list. I haven't played Buzzrock like much at all since Worlds. It's super different. And I'm conscious of how important the Sledgehammer turn can be. Let's just set up, though. Let's just try and set up, shall we? That's always not a bad policy. I don't think we need Field Blower too much in this matchup, so I don't mind sacking that alongside Kukui. We prize Slugma. Feels bad. I'm going to try and get a Rockruff developed. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. Let's get a free draw in here. And we'll take 6 cards. Choice Band ain't bad at all. I think I misplayed the Rockruff. The Rockruff should actually be a Diancie, I think. Looking at this now, because I forgot that we play so many Kukuis. That's where I'm forgetting. Because we could go 80 into 100 quite easily this way if I'd put the Diancie down. I'm basically learning this deck on stream as I go. Yeah, so Rockruff is only probably correct there if we already had EXP share in hand. Learning the deck live. What tool should you play in Duskmane Magnazone? Just play no tool and try and be as consistent as possible, probably. Two B strings in hand. I don't think I should get rid of this. Let's just do this. Diancie doesn't need to come down. Potentially a Rockruff does, though. Rookruff. Woofers. Pup. I think we can hold and just hit. We're already doing 80, which puts him to 40. I guess this means I can just keep a baby Buzzwole for next turn. Yeah, okay. Okay, fine. Damage is damage. Blah, blah, blah. I guess I could have played it next turn as well. Yeah. Learning's hard. I'm not in a very good mindset for learning at the moment. Uzzle Jup, UZL Jup. Thanks so much for the follow. Dashing Pounce seems better. Oh, actually, yeah, Choice Band is good for the Dialga. Yeah, you probably need Choice Band for the Dialga's GX attack. It means you can beat Ray and Mally. So yeah, probably Choice Bands. What are my thoughts on Blacephalon? I think it's done well in Japan, and I think it will have a pretty powerful engine behind it, similar to Eels. So I believe it'll be in that sort of echelon. You get a really nice search card in Ultra Space as well, so it will be similar levels of consistency to Squids. So probably pretty good. Pretty pogs. Luke is here. Let me add him to the call. He can coach me on this deck. Yellow.
Oh, hey.
You alright?
How's it going?
Good, mate. Good.
Good. 2 seconds. There we go. For some reason, Twitch isn't working on my PS4.
Nee.
Is that Jack?
No.
Oh, for some reason, I'm getting echo.
Crumbs.
Very bizarre. See, as I was saying, Twitch doesn't work on my PS4 anymore. Just says every stream is offline. Every single one. Embarrassing.
We need to not whiff. We really need to not whiff.
He's savage in this deck, by the way, though. He would have won this game if he didn't. You got down and see.
Yeah, I know. I said it at the time.
I don't know, I had it muted.
I haven't played this yet. Like, at all. Just actively playing it terribly. Just to trigger you.
Well, I can't actually see it now because my... can't see the stream.
Crumbs.
So let me see if we can get up on a web browser.
Yeah, I forgot there's so much damage buff in this deck that you need to always be thinking about, like, those spots.
Yeah. There we go.
I wanted to search out a Slugma anyway in that spot, but surprised. Seeing as how I played these last two games, though, I definitely would have done badly with this deck. I literally look at my hand like, what do I try and do here?
Could be mirror match, yeah.
Yeah, could be. 23rd guy played a Lowland Muck. Yeah, I saw that. Shuts off a couple things here and there. Just had his one of. Come on. That's embarrassing.
Escape rope. Gross. Yeah, my captain, I was 7-1-1 after day one. Win my first two. Needed to win one of my last three, and then things happened.
Sad boys.
Sad, sad boys.
Do I get a Buzz GX out here, Luke? What am I trying to get out? I don't even know what I go for. I think my nest ball is going for Slugma.
It's a bit awkward now.
He is very awkward, actually.
She can't really bench too much.
Oh, help me. Help me do something. It's awkward. Oh, I've lost, have I? One escape rope and I've lost.
Pretty much. The answer, maybe.
Okay.
No,
never
not
wrong.
this turn. Not this turn. Yeah.
Oh, for
Fudge.
embarrassing. Okay, I'll fill the bench, but with non-GXs, so it'll be fine.
Sure.
Embarrassing. Not even a Guzma. Most anticipated card for Lost Thunder. Probably just Zerora. Or the. Is it lame to say the Thunder Tool is the most anticipated card? Probably is lame, but. It's
True.
true. Wait, what are you doing, bro? What's he done here? Ditto Prism Star, yeah, that's a good shout as well. Goes my top deck one-time clocks. Oh, embarrassing. Why do we cut the one copy of Switch?
Got 4 Guzmas just better.
Not here. Not in this spot.
Mm.
Now I've got absolute crumb.
Oh. Azit, we played day one. What round did we play?
This is bloody tragic.
You're in a bit of a pickle here. You literally got Beetle by an escape rope.
I still want to be using these acro bikes because I want to evolve into cargo.
You took your speed share out.
No?
Why you put choice band on rock with you clown?
Good point. Well made.
Oh my days.
Lost to Ryanair round one. I think a few people did. How was my stacked winner box? I didn't do any winner boxes. I didn't turn up to the venue day 2. I got a
Couldn't handle it.
gold. I got a gold hunter in Hearthstone.
Priorities like it. Oh, yeah, I remember that game as he.
Well,
Mally.
that's a huge favour that he's done for us there. He's done us an absolute solid there, lads. Mac.
It's all going on. Peace energy. That's a weird old hand you got there, friendo. Let's get the engine. I'll be prize one.
I left it. Oh my god, he has Ace Roller. If he Ace Roller GXs, I'm so sad. Oh my god!
Getting beadled there, aren't you?
Ace Roller, huh?
Is this this was like Gavin's list.
Absolutely embarrassing. Why did I even wake up today?
Didn't have an EXP share.
The deck is rubbish, Luke. I played this perfectly.
Definitely. I agree.
Right, I'm going to test that off stream because it's just embarrassing at this point. Jesus Christ. You can stay back there for a while. While I learn some life decisions. And instead just hire on with Vika Ray. Jesus Christ. Where is Jack?
Where's Jackham's? If you posted in CCG anything, my phone's with a bit of a delay on. Let's have a look.
Vika Ray is a deck that I can play. It's a level of competence.
Kevin's rework on there. Jack's just finishing off the information.
That's a nice hand. Up against metals, though. Vika Ray can definitely lose to metals.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, it's Solgaleo and Metagross. Yeah, we can lose to this. My list does play batons, though, which should really help. Means we can hit 1,000,000 damage.
Batons. Cheeky German ad.
I'm surprised I didn't see many rays with baton. I think it's really good right now.
I think I played 5 rays over the 2 days, not one.
Yeah. Some play no tools, which is fine. Some play choice bands, which I don't really get.
I kind of get one.
Yeah.
But seeing it, you need it as well. I lost one of my games against Vika Ray in the best of 3 because he had choice band. I thought I was guaranteed not to die next turn,
Yeah, thought you were safe.
and he had his one off. Just had it. Interesting list. Should you play fan club in this list?
Yep, I play fan club.
Oh my lordy. That open hand is a bit good.
Good, isn't it?
Yes. Got some interesting prizes.
No, we got them. Just had the one off. There was a regional last year where a lot of people played Sylveon. I know Leipzig, there was a lot of people playing it, Jack included. I think I am going to use Stormy Winds because we're up against a stage 2 deck that can have 240 hit points. So.
Go for it.
And also, putting a Vikavolt in your discard pile actually improves your odds. So this isn't a bad discard. Didn't get it. Feels bad, man. Oh, Jackie here. Feels like he's here.
Yeah. How do you not get it off that? That's outrageous.
I've got Ultra Ball for my second Lele for Volkner. Oh, he's on in 5. Okay.
Vika Ray seems like just
Oh, we top decked a candy.
all round solid play.
I think we have our second Lele. The only thing I didn't check was Lele. I guess I can strong charge and check. Genius. We do have Lele Guzma.
As if you top decked.
Oh, sorry. Only 11
just
cards.
Joe things.
Only 11
Just
cards,
things.
yeah. So lucky.
Outrageous.
Candy V got off 11
so
cards. What a jam.
Yeah, I was trying to think about the silver matchup with Buzz. It was interesting.
We've prized 2 Guzmas, which is a little scary. But I think dealing with the only thing that presents any semblance of a threat sounds good. Sylveon's a pretty good matchup for Buzz. It depends.
Yeah.
They have, like, crushing hammers can be a big factor, and how many Plumerias they can get.
Yeah, I think it's... so my original Buzzrot list actually played 2 Judge.
Mm-hmm.
If it was still at that level, I think that would be correct. You'd probably be all right in that matchup.
Yeah.
If you can basically get 3 energy on and they go even on hammers, you've got a chance, but it's going to be tough. Tough old game.
Tough cookie. Oh look, judged into second Vikavolt. Nectar. Why have I not been
You also
playing Raid
have
all
the
my life?
option, the opportunity against. So we on a dunk now and then.
Yeah.
EV no energy. See you later, mate.
12 outs, usually. I think it's 12 outs that they play.
Yeah.
Here's the Beldam squad. How did I do it, Frankfurt?
Oh dear.
Tragic. I'll wait till Jack's on before we give our actual breakdown.
Yeah. Second Vikavolt, it's over, boys.
I think I just want to do this. Have the option to strong charge on whatever we need to.
Yeah, you're already at 210. Got a lot of buttons left.
Only really scared of if he can get a Metagross attacking with a field blower. But he's just evolved into a Matang, so it feels okay.
Got him. Got the full squad down.
We just don't need any of these cards anymore. We don't need any cards in our deck except Guzma now. It's basically how this deck plays with Baton. You just thin everything that isn't... Come on. There we go. Thin everything that isn't Guzma.
It was like Lapras.
That's why I love it.
We've turned this deck into Lapras.
We broke it.
Outrageous.
Played for top 128 in your last game. You put down a Garbodor as your starter by accident, and then your phone went off, and you insta-scooped. Oh dear, Mr. Soda King, that sucks.
Oh,
What a way to go. Sounds rough.
if you're going to do it in style.
If it helps, my day was also clown. So, yeah.
You still did better than Joe, so you're alright.
Yep. At least he had winning in for 128. I lost my penultimate round. No, I tied my penultimate round where I needed to win 2 on the bounce to get 128. Actually, I would have been 5-2-2 if I'd won my last 2. So I would have guaranteed 128. Yeah. Crumbs.
Any 5-2-2s, mate? 64?
I
I'm
didn't
assuming
check.
not,
I
actually.
don't think so.
No, because 6-3s, wouldn't there? Yeah, there'd be no chance.
Yeah, no chance.
Not a Scooby.
My day was a fiesta. Oh, what's this guy doing? Come on, just concede like a man.
So how does Lapras beat Vika Ray then, Joe? Hope they don't play Dalmise.
Yep. That's the ticket.
That's a win con.
Can Volker get me anything of use? I don't think it can get me anything of use other than thinning cards. May as well thin cards, right?
Yeah.
Draw Guzma. Can I play some Warlord Celix? Honestly, I would have to try it a lot offline before I try it online, because otherwise I will lose every game. I can guarantee you that.
It's definitely not a pick up and play deck, that's for sure.
Why was Tor tweeting out Moo so much? He played Zoragadi with the Moo Moo milk tank. Why was there no Empoleon Swampert in day 2? Can't believe it. It wasn't a popular deck, and I don't think any of the people who played it... Well, obviously the people who played it didn't do too well, but it really didn't seem popular around the tables. I saw it once.
I didn't see a
I
single
sat next
one.
to it once, yeah. The deck is autopilot? I don't think so, Techno Kid. I don't think so. You're going to be presented with a lot of problems, and I currently don't know the solutions to those problems. Is Jack here? He should be here any minute now. How do I like Bennett Garb? Zora Bennett Garb? Or I think straight Bennett Garb just has horrendous Zoroark matchups. And probably horrendous lots of other matchups. I think Zora Bennett Garb is reasonable. I don't think you have a great Zora Rock though, which is the biggest concern.
Definitely makes the Buzzrock matchup more interesting. I played against that. That was close.
Yeah. Let me quickly build my list.
I think Jack's ready, by the way.
Okay. Call me maybe. Embarrassing. So, I played Zora Weavile Bennett this weekend. And did quite poorly.
Tell them why. What did you take out?
Magcargo. I got cold feet, okay? Crumb hands made me very concerned for my well-being.
Hi.
Hello.
Evening.
How are we all?
Not bad.
Good.
Luke, do you want to be an absolute legend?
It all depends.
Share the post to the groups.
Go on then. I'll do it.
Hector. Thank you.
Can we see your Buzz Rotom list again? You missed day 2 by facing Garchomp. Well, me and Jack both have pretty poor days. Luke has the best story to tell, so I guess I'll quickly run over this deck. I decided to play Zora Weavile Bennett after one of our good friends, Tamao, has tested it in a few cups and really enjoyed it. I wanted to play Zoroark because I still thought it had the options to beat everything. I thought Weavile is just really good for Ray and for... Oh, hold on, this is still wrong because I play 3 Sneasels. I need to figure out where my last change was while I talk to you guys. But I Oh, it was this, right? I can't remember. So yeah, the Weavile really good for Ray and Zoro Mirrors. The Bennett to help deal with Buzzgarb Shrine. You can use Shady Move to get around 4 prize turn, and it just absolutely wrecks the rest of the deck, other than the Weavile part. And you still have the Zoroark engine because I hate all the supporters in the game right now, and I wanted to still draw some cards. So, Tamal's list, admittedly, is very different to mine. And most importantly, he played 2-2. No, he played 1-1 Mag Cargo. And honestly, I made the cuts for Mag Cargo. I inserted a Mallow and a third Lele because I was really concerned about my early game consistency. And it probably wasn't the right choice on reflection, just because there's a lot of times in games when I'm digging for combo pieces and missing and feel bad. But yeah, this was what I went for. I faced round 1. I lost to a Vika Ray after getting let loose into nothing 2 times after winning super convincingly game 1. Round 2, I face a Vika Bulu that does play a Xurkitree, but I was still able to win because he benched enough prizes in both games, which is good. Round 3, oh my god, I can't even remember. I think I started off really poorly though. I think I have a second loss here. I think it was round 3 where I face it was round 3 where I faced a Tapu Koko, Rule of Evil Weavile, Haunch Crow deck that absolutely decimates me. Never even close because I have to trade all the time to try and hit DCs to do anything, and that sucked. So I'm 1-2. Then I tied to a Zoroark that's pretty close. They won the coin flip, so I don't mind tying that matchup. They also played Sudowoodo, so I could only put down 1 Sneasel at a time, so it was pretty hard overall. So that's 1-2-1. Then I go to 2-2-1 against a Psychic Mally. No, an Ultra Squids. Round 6, I go to 3-2-1, so I must have beaten something. What the hell do I beat? I beat a Zoroark in this occasion. I got to go first and beat it 2-0. Round 7 was... Did I go to 4-2-1? No, that sounds like a way too good record.
Far too good.
So my last round.
This was your second tie, I think.
No, I've already. Oh yeah. Did I? Oh okay. So I played a spread Malamar that I actually tied to. It played Sudowoodo and Shining Arceus. And Shining Arceus is super scary. There's a lot of damage counters on that board, and he won like the really long game 1 and just drew terrible game 2 because I just killed a Rangaroo and he did nothing. So yeah, and then no time for a game 3, which sucked. And then I face a so then I'm 3-2-2, so I need to win my last 2 games. Yeah, that's right. And I end up then tying to a Buzzgarb Shrine. Absolutely decimated game 1. Game 2, turn 2, he goes Choice Band Beast, Diancie, kills Zoroark. Oh dear. So then I lose a really long game 2. No time for game 3. And my final round... Maybe that was my final round, actually. Did I win one more before my final round? I can't remember. What was my last round? I don't know. It doesn't matter, though. So yeah, I just did really bad. On reflection, should have just played Mad Cargo. I think this deck's not bad at all. I think the amount of Zoroark's a pain, and I think I might, even with them, maybe instead of... Maybe... I mean, it just needs to play more Choice Bands and Kukuis and Devad Fields to still have a good Ray, I think. Even though Weavile's great in theory, it can you still need to get combo pieces. Mad Cargo makes it work, though. I think I'd probably cut Max Potion on reflection, because I lost to 2 spread decks anyway, and I kept having to trade away Max Potion in every other matchup. So that's probably a cut. Probably just cut the third lady to add in the 1/1 Mag Cargo, and it's probably still fine. Friend Ball was really good. Great Ball was so that's also a potential space. Probably just a third Friend Ball instead, but there was there's times when Friend Ball's just bad, and I just wanted to have Great Ball in there for extra search. So yeah, how did I beat Zoroark? Zoroark. You have Weavile. Weavile's pretty good. If you go first, you can deal with their Rockruffs too, and then they just are terrible. So yeah, you just trade away Burnett in that matchup, obviously. But yeah, that was my day. Really, really bad. Tamao did make day 2 with this this concept, but obviously his build, where he played 1 Burnett for second stretcher. He didn't play this. He didn't play this. Played 3 of these, I think. Didn't play Mallow. And just played 2/2 slugs in here. So that's what Tamao did to make day 2. So do that if you want to have a better list.
Mm-hmm.
Jack and Luke, you both played Buzzrock.
Okay, let me go first, Luke, because you had a better day, so you'll have more to talk about.
I'll build the list quickly.
Okay. Yeah, I played Buzzrock. I was kind of, it got to about Wednesday and I was still testing everything. I spoke to a few people about a few different decks. I started testing. I was initially going to play Tamao's deck as well.
What's the last card? Is it an energy?
Third Rockruff.
Oh, for you? You played third Rockruff?
Yeah.
Okay.
I played third Rockruff, yeah.
Okay, carry on.
So yeah, I was originally going to play Tamao's deck, and pretty much all the way up until Friday I was going to play it. Alex messaged me about Sylveon on Wednesday, so then me, Joe, and Alex started chatting about Sylveon. Then I messaged Eddie, who did well with it in Eddie or Carl, I think is. I don't know what he goes by, but he did well with it in America. So I was like, okay, is this viable? We talked for a bit, and I was super close to pulling the trigger. But then me and Joe tested the Ray matchup, and it felt impossible. So it felt like you really had to dodge and weave matchups. You didn't want to hit any Malamars, and you didn't want to hit any. Well, ideally, you didn't want to hit any Malamars or Rays. You just wanted to hit Zoroarks and Buzz matchups. So I was like, I don't want to make that risk. I'd rather play a deck that I feel can hold its own against everything. That's why I went back to Zoro. But after playing with Zoro for a couple more days, it just felt super fragile in the early turns. And something that me and Alex both decided on the Friday night was we wanted to be able to attack turn 1 if we were going second. We wanted to be able to just attach an energy and do something and apply pressure. So Alex had been testing Buzzrock online for a little bit. I tested Buzzrock about a week earlier with Luke's list that did well, that he won with in Canuck. So I had some experience with the deck, so I didn't feel like I was completely picking it up and playing it. We tested the night with Scott and Seb. Simmons, they were in the same hotel, and we eventually decided that Buzzrock felt safer than Zoroark whilst not giving up too many 50-50s. It felt like you had very hard Malamar matchups that were winnable but difficult. I didn't feel super confident with things like Vicaray and Buzzgar, but I felt I could win them. That felt more out of lack of experience than lack of matchup. I think when Luke talks, he'll argue that it's a pretty good matchup for you. I think with practice it would have been, but it was more experience that led to me having a bit of an awkward day. So round 1 I faced Vicaray and I won because he made a couple of I don't want to say misplays, but more questionable decisions. He let me have a full prize turn on other games when I had a GX on board, and another game he pretty much let a Rockruff stick, which is kind of the way we built the deck. It was kind of designed to do that. You let either a Rockruff stick or a 2 Energy Buzz or GX stick, and one of them will take 2 or 3 prizes at least. That was the idea behind the deck list and the EXP shares and that kind of thing, and it worked really well round 1. Round 2 I was against Vikabulu, who did some pretty good Vikabulu things. I was able to compete pretty much most of game 1 until the last 2 turns of game 1, where a Eighth and Paradise Foundation stuck, which was super annoying because 2 of my last 3 prizes were Field Blower and a Stadium, and so I took a prize and didn't hit either of the 2 prizes, which I needed to kill to save my last 2 prizes the next turn, which is so sad. And then game 2, I was ahead, but I wasn't able to pull it to a tie by the time time was called. Round 3 was against Ho Reshiram, which is a super weird matchup. It actually feels a bit like the Ho Reshiram mirror because they hit Kiawe, but you then have B strings in the mid game. So if you can get to the mid game and take out a huge bunch of energy, you kind of have your Kiawe mid game without using your supporter and without ending your turn. So if you're able to stay in the game and perform a swing turn in the mid game, usually with Baby Buzz, because all but one of their attackers are 2 prize Pokemon, you can usually trade up with Baby Buzz, which is what I did. I think the matchup it's super dependent on who goes first. He actually went first, but missed Choice Band to Killer Buzz GX 2 turns in a row. So I was super lucky in that round. Round 4, I was against, I think, another Vika Ray who, I think this was the round where the Vika Ray played Order Pads and hit almost 100% heads. And when they do that, they get turn 2 Vikavolts and turn 3 Energy Recyclers and turn 4 300 damages and that kind of thing, which is sad. So I lost that pretty quick because it felt like this guy could not hit Tails on Order Pad, which was super sad. But it happens. Sometimes people roll heads. It's fine. Round 5 was... I think round 5 was another Vika Ray. Who didn't need to roll the Order Pad's heads to just get 2 Vikavolts turn 2. He just drew them instead, which was cool. So yeah, those 2 rounds back to back, I lost to 2 super high roll. I think I tied that one actually. I think I tied that Vika Ray because in the game in one of the games, I think it was game 1, he set up 2 Vikavolts turn 2. Game 2, he didn't see a Vikavolt at all. So he had to keep pretty much powering up attackers manually just to try and keep poking me until he was drawing into Vikavolt. So I was able to tie that round. So going into round 6, I was 2-2-1, so I needed to win out to top 8. And I faced my first Zoroark, which was so sad for it to be so late into the day seeing a Zoroark, considering that was pretty much all I went to beat. It was a Zoro Lycanroc Weavile, which normally I think would be a very good matchup. But game 1, I Lily for a full 8 cards and miss energy to knock out a Zorua. Turn 2, I Cynthia into a fresh 6 after playing my whole hand down and miss energy again to knock out another Zorua. So I then have to get out my Cargo, get out Guru, get out Diancie, and I had to Lele for the Cynthia. So I had 4 abilities on board already to get an energy turn 2, because I had to instruct, or I had to smooth over into instruct for a single energy card to take out a Zorua on the second turn of the game against a very favorable matchup. And because even then I still feel favorable in that matchup, but it gets to the last turn of that matchup where I win next turn, and I think he has about a 14 card deck. He has 1 trade to trade into exactly Kukui and Lycanroc, and then he has to, if he doesn't trade into the Lycanroc, he then has the Kukui to trade into to draw into the Lycanroc. So he has technically 2 cards to hit 1 card and then 4 cards to hit a second card, and he does it, and I just want to cry because I've managed to mitigate the fact that I thought I'd managed to mitigate the fact that I didn't see any energy for the first 2 turns of the game in a favorable matchup. But no, unfortunately, he hits Lycanroc plus Kukui to kill, to take his last prize. Game 2, I pretty much steamrolled him exactly how you're meant to. He can't ever keep a Weavile down. He can't ever keep a Sneasel down. He can't ever keep a Zorua down. By the time he sets up a Lycanroc, I have a Lycanroc to respond on his Lycanroc with only 2 abilities on board. So he's not even able to Weavile knock me out. So it just goes exactly how the matchup's meant to go. But we didn't have time for game 3, so I tied it. So that meant I was out of top 8, out of day 2 contention at 2-2-2. Round 6, I was against the Buzzgarb Shrine, who I super high roll game 1. I think I start Diancie, Kukui, Beast Energy in hand to take a huge knockout.
Jeez.
Which I'm like, oh, this is great. My luck's coming now. But then he stomps me games 2 and 3. But he was a super nice player, so I didn't mind because he was one of the only people that really talked to me all day. It felt like everyone was so focused on how to deal with Buzzrock. No, like people weren't. I tell you what, EXP share saw so many like jaw drops. It was insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was super chatty, which was nice. I didn't mind losing, especially after high rolling him in the first game. So that was round 7. Round 8, I was against Buzzguard Burnett. I win that one by pretty much just as soon as I see a Shuppet, I target it down. She never gets 2 Shuppets down at once, so I'm never in too much of an issue with Burnett. There's one game where I'm not able to kill the Burnett, and pretty much the game she set up Burnett, she won. Because I also started Buzz GX, but I was able to take games 1 and 3. And then round 9, I sit down and he turns over an Inky. I'm like, oh, okay, I can win Psychic Malamar. I play two prize Pokemon. His first nest ball is for a Shining Lugia, so I insta-scoop to him because it's round 9. I can't make points. So I just don't even want to figure out the matchup because I'm almost certain it's not auto loss, but it's super, super hard, and I just can't be bothered. So, but out of that, he told me he knew who I was and knew that I was sometimes struggling to get to one of the cups that's local to me. And he said if I'm ever in need of a lift, he's always happy to give me it. So I scooped to someone who then gave me a lift to, or who then offered me a lift to some cups in the future. So it was all worth it. But yeah, the deck itself felt super good for the tournament. I hit some high rolling Vika Rays. I hit some matchups that I didn't feel 100% confident in myself with. But the fact that Alex and Luke both day 2'd with it, I think it was easily one of the best calls for the weekend. It's super, super relevant in the meta right now. And I think if you can work out your own Buzzguard matchups and Vika Ray matchups, I think it has a really, really good place in the meta. And it feels like no one's talking about it as well. People like Pedro were also playing as well. Pedro top 8'd. So it's definitely, it feels like people are slowly becoming aware to the fact that Buzzwole can hold its own in this format, even without strong energy and max elixir.
Yeah, it's kind of back on the map from Pedro, but it wasn't going into this tournament, really, was it?
No, it felt like we'd heard rumours of a couple of high players or well-known players playing it, but it felt like no one was talking about it in a general aspect.
Yeah. Luke, what was your one card difference from them?
I only played 2 Rockruff and I played 4 Cynthia.
Okay, cool. Hey, by the way, Charlie, how's it going, man? Right, you go, man.
Charlie.
You did good.
I did good, but it started out. I thought it was going to be one of those days. Round 1, I'm against Vika Ray, Martin Janus. I go first, play out my first turn, get a really good board state. He goes on his turn, also gets a good board state, and let loose is. My turn 1 support was Cynthia. After we let loose is, I continued drawing up to my 5th card and then realised I've just drew an extra card. On turn 2 of the whole tournament, and I'm like, oh, that's a prize penalty. So in that matchup, it is a very swingy matchup, very close with 2 prize advantage. You just can't win. So I scooped that game, win the next one, and then game 3, it was very close for a whiff energy. Take a big knockout, and then it gives him the lead. So I lose my first round, and I think, here we go. Round 2, I'm against Zoropod. The matchup goes pretty much how it should. One of the main reasons I played this deck was it beat Zoroark decks. And as long as you don't completely brick out, it should be fine.
As long as you hit energy turn 1, right?
Yeah, that too.
Or two.
And so I win that one quite comfortably. Round 3, I believe, someone who was in the chat earlier was Psychic Malamar. Fortunately, I did test, I think it was 5 or 6 games the night before against Joe in this matchup.
Yeah.
I'd already played against it at a cup, so I kind of knew the match, we knew the way to go. I lost game 1, he just went off. He went first, went off and turned 2. Dawn wings me and I can't respond. Games 2 and 3. all quite close games, but I managed to get my game plan up, get my EXP shares down on my rough early, and swing the match up in that way. Round 4, I'm up against Scott Simmons, who's playing Buzzgarb Shrine. It's another matchup that I had tested a decent amount, so I knew the game plan, and I actually hadn't lost to it in testing. Against Jamal, we played quite a few series during the week last week, just to smooth over the game plan and the matchup. And I think game 1, I had 3 items in discard at the end of the game, and game 2, I had about 4 at the end of the game. So as long as you can limit your items, then you do have, after the full price turn, or if you can avoid it with Buzz, spreading damage, the full price turn, you are in a very good place because they just can't deal with Lycan Rocks. Next round, I'm against an American guy who's actually over for business, playing Vika Ray. I lost the first game. He got 2 Vika Volts turn 2, and it's just very difficult if they go first and do that. I won game 2. It went out of the matchup I feel should. And I got my game plan off. Game 3, I have a very good board state, but he was quite a slow player. So time is called. I need to get a choice band of a 6-card dig to let me take 3 prizes that turn, which gives me a chance next turn. But unfortunately, I whiffed that. So it ends up in a tie. At this point, 3-1-1. Not bad, but a bit frustrated with the way a couple of things have gone. And I managed to, at that point, block out the mistake early rounds, because if you do it turn 2 of a tournament, it can sometimes play on your mind a bit.
Yeah.
So I managed to block that out. Next round, I'm against Zoro. I see Zoro with turnover, but he actually plays Zoro White Bennett Garb, which is a much tougher matchup than any of the Zoro White deck should be. So I lost game 1. He got turn 2 double Bennett and about 7 supporters in the discard, and Field blowered my EXP share as he took a knockout. So I lose that one fairly convincingly. Game 2 a lot closer, but I managed to win that one out. And game 3, he gets a double prize penalty because the apricot maker, and then Cintia's in the same turn. And from that point, it's comfortable. And even if he gets a good board state, I can still take 4 prizes before he takes 6. Round 6 against another Vika Ray, my third of the day. This one, I go first, I get set up, and I managed to win both games fairly comfortably. I felt in a strong position, and I just had the answers and got set up very efficiently. So we're on 2-0. Round 7, unfortunately, I can't remember. I did write down my matchups, but I cannot find where I wrote it. So,
Excellent.
yeah, that's embarrassing. Round 8, I'm against Zoro Rock, playing 4 Judge. He does get me some Judge shenanigans, but again, if you don't overbench, and you can get energies down, you're fine.
Yeah.
Once I drew out of the Judge, it was fine, and I GX it. I didn't actually use Lycan Rock to attack in either games, because I set attack with Buzzwole, GX attack, they can't respond.
Yeah, with no bench.
Yeah, 2 bench, they cannot respond, so you take 4 prizes with that, and puts you in a good position. And then last round, I'm against my 4th Vika Ray of the day. Some really cool games, but EXP share, Rock Ruffs basically puts him in a checkmate position, both games 1 and 3. Game 2 was very close, but he had just... I feel like the matchup is a lot more favourable for who goes first. It definitely has a swing in the matchup, especially if they're a good player and it's a good list. But win game 1 and 3, the matchup as they goes. I feel sure as I got my EXP shares down on Rockruffs early, which is quite key. I managed to win that one out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm 7-1-1 after day 1. Feeling good, feeling confident. Going into day 2, first round 10, I'm up against Stefan, playing Hero Salazzle. Game 1, because of the way my hand was, and the board state, he gets off 2 Kiawes, turns 1 and 2 going first. So I can't really do much because he will have response and answers. Game 2 will go first, start putting pressure on. He does get the Kiawe or turn 1 all 3 games, but if you go first, I feel like you're always in a good position. Game 3 again was quite close, but I managed to set up my mad cargo so that after the 4 prize turn, I managed to get 2 Bush GXs and 2 B swings off, which basically reads checkmate on the board. Because even if he kills something with a Turtonator to go down to 2 prizes, 1 prize, I can then respond and he has no energy on board.
Yeah.
Round 11, I'm up against Bernardo, I think, was first seed after day 1. I think he made top 8 as well. Playing Buzzgarb Shrine. Again, I win game 1, don't really play any items down, and the matchup goes how I feel it should. Game 2, unfortunately, due to my hands and boards, I have to play items, and I have to bench a Lele, as well as getting a Lycan Rock out to get an important knockout. So I have a lot of GXs down. I can't bounce Shrine for a couple of turns, so the matchup was definitely his favour. He wins that one. And then game 3, going first, again, it's quite important. And he started on Guru, which is really bad for him. I managed to knock that out, spread some damage around. I ended up avoiding the 4 prize turn with Buzz. And by the end of time, by the last turn of time, I only had 2 items in my discard, and one of those was a beast ring to set up checkmate. So again, if you can limit your items, it's not a bad matchup at all.
Yeah.
And so I'm 9-1-1. I need to win one of my last 3 to make top 8 because my resistance will be very good going 2-0 on day 2. I come up against Malamar, Lugia, Shrine. I knew I was against the Malamar deck because it was tables 1 and 3 in round 11 because table 2 tied. It was Sylveon versus Steelix, so they just ID'd.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to see what happened there. So I knew I was against a Malamar, and I knew one of them was the Shrine version and one of them was the regular version. So I was praying and hoping it would be the regular version, and then he started Shining Lugia, and I thought, here we go, this is going to be tough. Game 1, he just overruns me. There's not much I can do. I do get down to 2 prizes, but he's just always ahead. Game 2, I managed to basically limit what he can do with Inkay just killing them straight away with Lycan Rocks. I'm able to take 2 Shining Lugia knockouts with Lycan Rock with GX and then Kukui and Claw Slash. So I win that game quite quickly. Game 3 is very, very close. I unfortunately whiff energy to take a big knockout, which would have put me ahead in the prize trade. And unless he played Kukui, which I'm pretty sure he didn't, he wouldn't have been able to get a return knockout, so I could have got more value off the Lycan Rock. But unfortunately with energy. And so then he goes ahead in the prize race and can see that out from there because he doesn't bench a GX in all 3 games to give me that prize. I have to really work hard to take all 6 out. Round 13, I'm against Ilya, playing Zoroark, Buzzwole with Beast Rings. I knew it'd be a close matchup because it feels like in that matchup who can get the most Beast Rings at the right time in the 4 prize turn. Game 1, I absolutely brick, and it's over quite quickly. Game 2, I miss a massive energy off it. I think it was a 7 or 8 card dig to basically set up checkmate because he had nothing left on board other than Zoroarks. I could have GX attacked, go down to 2 prizes, and taking out his Bush GX with 3 energy on, and with the energy. And then he can Guzma, kill my Lycan Rock with the Bush GX next turn, and then so I lose that. So I've gone from needing to win one of my last 3, losing the first 2, and starting to panic a bit. And last round, I'm paired against Adam Hawkins playing Psychic Malamar. I know the matchup is close, but it is definitely winnable. And then I proceed to literally draw dead both games. Game 2 would have been okay. However, I basically play my cards down, thin out, Ultra Ball, leave me one card in hand so I can Lily for a fresh 7, and my Lele is prized. So I have to get Owen Guru and Instruct for 2, and I get a supporter. So it's pretty sad times, and he sort of steamrolls me from there, getting 4, 3 Inks down, Deoxys, all sorts, let loose me into another dead hand, and away we go. So yeah, unfortunately, top 8 eluded me, which was really frustrating because I put a lot of time and effort into testing for the first time in a long time. I put myself in the best possible position after 9 rounds. Need to win 1 of 3. Normally, I'd sort of put my hat on making it, but it's the way it goes. It's what happens. Tough match. I feel a bit frustrated because every round that I played in the last 3, there was Zoroark decks next to me. Especially loads of Zoroark. If I would have got one of them, obviously we're having a whole different conversation, but that's the way it goes. And hopefully I can turn that luck around for the next tournament and put it back in my favour.
Yeah, that really sucks. I was really, really rooting for you as well, because as you said, you've played it in 2 cups. You had like a ridiculous win-loss record. I think we said it was like 24 and like 3 losses or something along those lines. 24 wins, 3 losses.
It was 24, 2, 4.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. So
yeah,
really piloting Buzzrock a lot.
2 of those ties were IDs, so I was feeling good. Like I say, my record was there. I was feeling good. But unfortunately, those last 3 rounds just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
But I think it would have been frustrating because top 8, I'm not sure how I beat Sylveon.
Yeah, Jack?
How about we use the CCG graphic rather than the Limitless one?
Because the Limitless one's great. But okay.
Thanks, dude.
I haven't seen the CCG one. It's just because I prepared it earlier.
Here's one I prepared earlier.
Hold on. I was just about to say the Limitless one's great, and then I see one that's even better.
Brilliant.
There we go. There we go.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, just while Joe's sorting this out, I think the deck was a solid play. I think it was 100% the correct choice. The one change I would definitely think about is taking out a 3rd Baby Buzz. I originally played 2. I went up to 3 because I thought it would help the Buzzgarb Shrine matchup before I'd figured out the matchup. And you only really need 1, maybe 2 in that matchup if you play it correctly. Depending on obviously what you start. So that was a bit frustrating. I felt like when you started, it isn't Buzz GX, and almost every matchup you want to start Buzz GX, even Malamar matchups.
Yeah, because you just make a 4-prize turn happen.
Yeah. Yeah, you can sort of force that down. So I would definitely cut that. What you put in depends, I guess, on what you want to see. You could go like Joe did, then you could slightly tweak the list to make it better against Sylveon using Zygarde GX. You could put in some Pokemon could be like Rescue Stretcher, because we don't play any. So if your Slugmas, Magcargos, or Guru goes down, that's it. They've gone. Also gives you a chance to get back your like and right line. So there's a few different ways you could go, a few different things you could change, depending on obviously what the meta is and how you feel about the list.
But yeah, especially seeing Pedro also top 8'd. Like, you were so basically there. It's almost like 2 made top 8, so it is definitely sort of sleeping right now based on it. Like 7% of the top 55. But 2 of them could have been top 8. That's pretty wild.
3, because Dow was winning.
Dow was there as well, yeah. So
yeah,
definitely not represented for its power level. And basically, EXP Share, in our opinion, kind of busted it. We sort of realised that the week I was testing Lapras, I was just like, the deck is hard carried by EXP Share. And then you tried it in the cup, and it was like, man, it's just like having Max Elixir back, and that just creates unlosable board states. So kind of was
Yeah.
really busted with
It's like
the XP
it's like
share.
attaching another energy per turn. It's
Yeah.
good.
It's really busted at the moment.
I like to the point where I'd even consider a third. It was so good for me all weekend.
Really
You
big
just
card.
want to you just want to see it.
Yeah. I mean, it even has multiple uses. Like there's games where you perhaps don't want to get Lycanroc out, or you don't need Lycanroc at the same time. So it essentially becomes a float stone if you've got Rockruff on bench, and you've already got an energy attached, or the XP shares there, and that's not going to be the priority of the target. Even on a Lele, it can become like a float stone.
Yeah.
Obviously, the energy goes back, you retreat it, and away you go. So
And
it
even
was super strong.
even putting it on buzzers is fine. If your Diancie is still in the game, it's absolutely fine
Yeah.
putting on Buzz GXs or Baby Buzzers if
Yeah.
you've done Jet Punches. It's
Yeah,
not
I was
just a
doing that
Rockruff
as well.
card, it just does everything.
Yeah.
Super good.
It's super strong.
Right, let's have a look at this top 55 from Frankfurt. So the most successful deck was Zoro Lycanroc, 22% of the top 55. Then Vika Ray. I think Vika Ray was really popular in the tournament. Actually, Jack, are you able to find that the one from
Yeah.
the official thing?
Yeah, give me 2 seconds.
Okay,
Carry on
cool.
talking, I'll let you know what it says.
Yeah, Vika Ray also did very well, 15%. Also got to the final. Psychic Malamar, 13%, which is quite interesting, being the third most popular deck. I didn't necessarily see this coming. Actually, I guess it's alongside Buzzgarb, so it is kind of fair. So the top four that we were expecting is very much still the top four decks.
Yeah.
These are the ones.
Looking at this other graphic, it was all pretty representative.
Yeah,
Those four were the four largest
archetypes in the room.
decks.
Yeah.
It looks like less. It looks like the least amount of shrine converted and the most amount. So there was more Zoro Lycanrocs convert than any other deck.
Okay.
Not only it was the most represented, but also it was actually the third most played, but still a lot of those converted. So it looked like they were seeing a lot of success, even though there was more Vika Rays and Shrine decks.
Cool. Buzz Rock as well, 7% in day two. I think that would have had an insane conversion. I don't think there was a lot in the room. Alex, Pedro, Luke. I don't know if anyone else were there playing Buzz Rock, but
There was 4%. So, yeah.
that's a really good conversion.
What would that be? That'd be like, so if there's four, yeah, that'd be about 10, 12% of them all converted. 20, yeah, up to 20% of them converted.
Which is pretty nutty.
Yeah.
Ender Leon, thanks for the follow. And Janice Dasti as well, if I missed you. Thanks for the follows, guys. Lugia Malamar, so the shrine stuff, 4%. Zoro Magcargo, this was like the control variant, I want to say. Or is this the one where it's like Zoroark everything? I don't know.
No, it's literally just Zoro Magcargo, I believe.
Control build, okay.
Yeah.
One,
There were no
4%
there were no
Zoro
Zoro and friends in day two.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought there was. I thought
I don't think there were.
it.
Lorenz
made it.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's in the other category then.
So looking at this makes me even more sad. So basically, 1 in 3 techs in day 2 was a Zoroark deck.
Yeah, Lorenz made it just at the bottom. Anyway, Zoro Burnett, yeah, 4% as well. So you had it was meant to be such a nice day 2 for you as well. So sad. 20% other, that included Hokiawe, Steelix, and Sylveon mill decks. Zoro Decidueye, Persimmon, the Salazzle. Is that just a Ho Salazzle?
Yeah, it was Salazzle.
Was the Lucario straight, or was it a Lucario?
It was Zoro Lucario.
wow.
Zoro Lucario. Okay. So yeah, it still paints the picture of the top 4 decks still being carved out. I think Buzzrock definitely should see more representation in future tournaments from our personal standpoint. Obviously, we'll say that because our testing group was testing it a lot. Especially, I test against Luke the most with the deck, and he's like the most experienced with it out of all of our team. So, just knew the other matchups. Like, we made Vika Ray fine. Second Malamar's fine. You want to see Zoroark, which is still going to be super popular. So, it still has a good placement. Buzzgarb's fine as well. So that feels like it should be increasing going forward. Also, the mill stuff, even though they're not high in percentage, they did well, like really well. The two made top 8, and I think Zora Rock is one of the decks that can adapt to that by playing Zygarde and Judges. So let's have a look at this. We'll look at the top 8 decks, and then we'll have a just a little brief look at maybe some more interesting pieces here. So Hampus was the winner, 520 Masters, by the way, our biggest regional ever, I think, in Europe.
Yeah.
He played 4/4 Sylveon for Pokemon, and he played 12 Fairy, 2 DCE, 4 Plumerias to try and get rid of an energy every turn if possible, Lusamine Loop, Skull Grunt as well, Guzma's Judges, Kukuis to allow you to KO Orangaroos and other things if you need to, like 130 HP Pokemon, maybe Garbodors if you've played too many items, stuff like that. A couple of the threats out there. 1 copy of Mars, which actually worked in the final, which is crazy.
Yeah. Got rid of that energy, didn't he?
Yeah, got rid of an energy, a really important energy to stop a Rayquaza coming in for a bonk on the head. Lots of Max Pots, lots of hammers to complement those Plumerias. Nestball, Countercatcher, Blower, Palpad. A couple of dumbbells so that you can stay out of range of even more stuff if possible. 1 copy of Mount Lanakila to help you do Guzma stalling, and also 1 copy of Lysander Labs. Obviously, you have Lusamine Loop, so you only need 1 copy of both of these. Stopping tools can also stop like escape boards, and that's kind of doing the same thing as Mount Lanakila in some ways, but also just stopping Choice Band again, trying to keep you out of range as much as possible. So yeah, Jack, do you have much to say about this list? Because obviously you were the one looking at Sylveon the most. Is this sort of list that you would have been close to? Because we saw a super different list in Philly, right?
It's not as far off as you think. I think he only made 4 changes from the Philly list.
Okay.
Would this have been what I played? I think I would have gone. I think in the testing we were doing, I had less one-offs. I had more. I had like 4. I think I had 4 Plumeria. I think I went up on a couple of these counts, down on a couple of these counts. But in general, it looks pretty close to what did well in Philly, and therefore it makes sense. Anything I'd like to see? I think it all looks pretty good. I considered we considered the Guardi line, which was cool, but the more I tested it, I don't think I told you this, Joe. I tested it a bit more, and the more I tested it, the more pieces of it I cut because it just wasn't doing anything.
Well, we initially put it in because we couldn't beat Vicaray without it.
yeah. But once I kind of sacked that matchup off, I was like, well, let's just go all in Sylveon, because every route you play isn't a Sylveon start, and I think even with two routes and 4 EV, I think I started about 80% of my games with routes, which obviously doesn't make sense, but it just felt like that was what was happening. So I was like, okay, scrap the Guardi. But yeah, anyway, I like that the biggest thing for me is I like that he's added 1 Labs as well as 1 Mount Lanakila. I think Labs is super cool for, like we say, you really thought Vicaray with Batons was going to be big, and I think that's huge for things like these really, really big swing tools like Batons, all of that kind of stuff. I think it's super important to have a counter to that isn't just Field Blur. Field Blur is a one-time use card, whereas if you can get rid of all of their stadiums and then place the Labs down and force it in play, there's nothing they can do about it. So yeah, plus I also like the fact that he's playing 2 stadium, because it means on turns when you're Plumeria-ing instead of Lusamining, you still have a second physical stadium to get rid of things like Shrine and some of the other good stadiums about. The other thing worth noting, which is something that Benji has said a lot on his Twitter and a lot to us today, I do think Lusamine needs an errata. I don't think it should be able to get Lusamine back. I don't think you should be able to Lusamine change after playing with it in Leipzig last year, and then it's still being relevant now in 2 very, very interesting and innovative, but also really irritating decks. I think in the next quarterly change, Lusamine should be errated to not be able to cycle itself.
Do you not think Orangaru is enough of an answer?
No, because I think you can play around it. There was that huge argument. There was that huge argument on Facebook today about optimal plays and optimal decks and optimal lists, but I think fundamentally there isn't a right answer because there's so much variance in lists and players and skill and the actual drawing of
we even
cards.
have let loose and judge in the format. Like, we have so many answers if we want to tech for Sylveon. I just think that no one cared.
Do you not think everyone was playing Let Loose or Judge this weekend? Everyone was playing them, and I think it still did well. I think as soon as you're Errata Lusamine, this deck dies, and that's all you need to do.
Mark was in the chat earlier, Jack, and he said in day 1 he got judged 5 times in his 9 rounds. Mark talked to Hampus.
Oh, he got let loose.
He got
5
he
times
got
in
that
9
effect
rounds.
happened to him 5 times in 9 rounds.
Incredible. No, maybe fair enough.
So I feel like it's a lack of.
I feel like everyone was playing because you don't just play them for that. You play them for things like Vicore, things like crazy algorithms and that kind of thing.
But it's a one-off.
I genuinely thought everyone was playing at least a 1 count of some kind of shuffle draw 4.
Yeah, but it's still just a one-off. I think if you up the counts, like I think Pendy's Zoroark would be the scariest thing, but at the same time, it's still a Zoroark, right? It's still
definitely.
It still only need to deal with 4 DCs, and you can still win the game. So
I'm gonna say, but that being said, I don't think it's overly scary because you still can't really one shot a Sylveon. So as long as they have access to a second EV, I think it's probably still pretty favorable. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
That's what I mean. I'm saying that if other decks employ a judge engine, Sylveon is just terrible.
But that being said, the decks in my eyes that Sylveon auto wins are Buzzgarb Shrine and Zorro decks. I don't think the 4 of Judge count or the 4 of Shuffle count or a higher Shuffle count helps
those.
That's
true. That's fair.
Against the other stuff you probably also lose, like Magnazones, Metagrosses. You're not going to be winning those matchups anyway, so you don't need to play those cards. So I don't think that's necessarily.
But this was more for the argument of Lusamine, right?
But yeah. The other thing is that, like I say, there was that huge argument, which was actually a really interesting discussion about. Someone just said, "Well, now we just play an Oranguru and we can never lose to Sylveon," and that's not true.
No,
you don't just auto win with one Oranguru. You have to play it well, but it's much more favorable.
I would say if you're gonna errata Lusamine, I would also errata or ban Guru. Personally, I think Guru is as much of a problem card. It's just people see it as a solution card because they hate Mill. Whereas realistically, it is a problem card.
It's essentially the same card as Lusamine. Yeah. Which is probably why it won't happen, because that's errataing 2 cards, and I don't think it will happen. But I think if this genuinely becomes an issue to the point where people are annoyed about it, I mean, there will be people annoyed that Sylveon won a regional, but Sylveon or Mill did super well in Leipzig, and people got over it because the format was like 60% Zorro. So if people get over it again, then it won't be an issue. But if people are genuinely like vocal about how annoyed they are because no one teched for Sylveon or whatever, I could see them considering it. But I guess I don't think it will happen, just because, like you say, they probably then have to errata Guru as well.
I don't think there's a need to deal with Lusamine. I think it is an inherently difficult card, but I don't think it needs to be banned because it's not created a deck that's that powerful ever. I just think it's inherently just poor design, I guess.
It's like I guess that argument is, in general, these mill decks are uninteractive, so they want to deal with uninteractive archetypes that you can't do anything against. So I guess if they want to deal with that, maybe that's when they start looking at errataing something like Lusamine or that kind of thing. Another huge thing for this deck is Eevee. Eevee's ability is crazy good. Mm-hmm. So that's half the reason this deck is good. If the Eevee didn't have the ability, this deck would be trash, because you start lone Eevee and you have 4. You have 4 Eevee, 4 Nest Ball to find. Oh, he's playing 1 Nest Ball, so he has 4 Eevee and 1 Nest Ball to find a second basic when the best deck in format is Buzzgarb, which one shots you. So if there's multiple different pieces that make this deck crazy good. that like even one small errata, which I don't think they'll do. They shouldn't errata Eevee. I think Eevee is a really, really cool card, and it's just the fact that Sylveon searches for 3 crazy good tools or crazy good cards to start milling your opponent that is potentially an issue. But I think it is something that if we get to a point where like we had the whole thing with the Steelix versus Sylveon deck this weekend, no one knew how to deal with that situation.
No.
If that becomes, and that's the first time it has ever happened in Pokemon history, I believe. So if that starts to happen on a more frequent basis, I could see something happening. But for now, I think people will start to tech for Sylveon. I think whilst I'm saying it's not super clean, if you play one Oranguru, you win. That's not how it works. But also, I think if more people are playing Oranguru, Sylveon players will naturally be more scared to play it anyway, because it makes their day so much harder. It doesn't make it auto loss, but it's just so much more effort. The reason why I wanted to play the deck was because your Zoros were so free, it was insane.
I mean,
and
yeah.
As soon as they have Oranguru, it's not free. You actually have to think again, and that's, I think, where Sylveon starts to die down, because more people will learn how to play against it, and immediately, it just becomes less good. People getting annoyed with Mill being good kind of annoys me, because
I don't think it is good. I don't think it's busted in any way. I don't think it's a problem deck. I think it's just people never want to test against Mills. It's boring as hell. People were only ever playing 1 Dawn Wings in Mali, so they could actually lose to this. And apparently some Ray players don't know how to win. Like, I see it as just a counter deck still, in many ways.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think after this weekend we can be like, oh, Sylveon tier 1, because it's not. You can easily it can lose turn 1 by bricking. It plays like this list. This is one of the only lists I wasn't keen on. One of the only things I wasn't keen on about the list that did well in Philly. The fact you have 4 EV plus 1 Nest Ball means you lose so hard to donk sometimes. So just playing, like, I wouldn't ever go anywhere near not playing a 4 Nest Ball count, because if you miss Energy and miss Nest Ball, you're screwed, and that's a lot of cards you've got to miss. But it happens. Yeah. Alex the night before was like, why are you playing 12 Fairy Energy? You don't need to play 12 Fairy Energy. I was like, yes, you do, because you need to hit them turn 1, so you don't just die.
Yeah. So you have 16 outs plus, like, 2 Kukui to draw you 2 cards. That's basically it, to not get donked. Yeah.
Which is when you look at it like that, is a huge amount of outs, but at the same time, you just auto lose when you don't hit one of those 16 cards, or one of those 18 cards, 16 cards, or whatever, I mean. So why not play as many as you can, i.e. 20, as many as you can without playing things like Ultra Ball? Why don't you play 20 and just try and really, really secure yourself into the game? Because that's the thing with Sylveon. The longer the game, the more favourable Sylveon hat is. Yeah. So just try and make the game as long as possible.
You need to have all the stuff as well.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, anyway.
One thing about this deck would scare me, obviously, if the judge count and let loose count does increase. If your opponent goes first, judges are let loose. Yeah. Your odds of getting that energy are decreased quite significantly, and there's always that chance then, and it's just risky. I mean, I think personally it was the right play for the meta if people weren't playing as many judge and let looses, and obviously you have to get the right matchups, but I think it was a good call for the day and the time, and fair play to him. It's not a deck I want to see becoming popular, because it's not fun, it's not interactive. You don't really get to play Pokemon, which is the whole point. Some people play, so it's a great meta call, but I think the format will adapt to it, which again makes it not as strong as it was for Frankfurt. So hopefully that doesn't creep into popularity.
At the same time, though, one thing I did see on social media today was, don't blame the Sylveon player for abusing the format. If the format's open to be abused, and they want, like, everyone went into this tournament wanting to win the tournament. Don't be like, oh, what a trash guy for trying to win the tournament. He tried to win the tournament because he saw a hole in the meta, which multiple people saw, and he won with it because he was able to rip open this gap in the meta and just destroy people with it. Don't blame him for abusing the meta, because the meta's there to be abused. Sure, call the deck trash, but Hampus did a really, really fantastic job this weekend.
Definitely. I sat next to him, I think 3 or 4 rounds in day 2, and he just played it, looking over if I finished a bit earlier, watching he played it spot on as well.
Yeah.
He knew the matchups, he knew the game plan. And I think it takes someone, I think he's played Sylveon before, if I'm correct.
Yeah, he has.
So he's experienced with the deck and what it does, but I think it takes someone to win a tournament like this with a deck like Sylveon. It has to be, 1, a very good player, and 2, they need to know every matchup. There has to be a game plan. You can't wing it. You have to go in and think about and know what your plan of action is from the start, because it's a quite thought-provoking deck, and you need to be able to make the right decisions each turn. So fair play Tampus. He deserved the win he got there. I mean, who would have thought that he would have won by taking more prizes in the final against Vika at the end of time?
Similarly with Sanders' Steelix as well, which we'll talk about momentarily. But I saw a couple of people trashing on Sander and being like, "Oh, why is he playing such a stupid deck?" And it's like, no, it's like you said earlier on the stream. He's mill guy. He finds a way to make the wackiest thing possible, and does well with it. And I think that's huge props. It's an annoying deck to play against, but that kind of creativity shouldn't be pushed away. I think it's fantastic for I feel like this meta is kind of stale with just the top 3 or 4 decks right now. I'm really looking forward to Lost Thunder, so it's nice to see someone do well with something different.
Yeah.
I also think on the flip side, there's a lot of decks Lost Thunder. I think Vika Ray then becomes unwinnable for them because they can then play Zavora, so there's no stall tactics.
Yeah.
And that changes the whole way the deck goes. So I think it has a small window for Frankfurt to know where it could be good and playable. But I don't see how they beat Vika Ray with Zorora coming out, because they cannot stall, they cannot do crazy things like that.
SC, thank you for the 6-month free sub. Right, we've talked ages about just Sylveon, so we need to rattle through some lists. Luckily, it's going to be easier to talk about some of these. So Gonzalo got second with Vika Ray, and it's actually different from most Vika Rays that we see, in that he's playing 2 Shining Lugia, 0 copies of Delmise, so stronger against Buzzgarb, weaker against Lycanrocs, and he also played the Rally Back Shaman, or the Flippity Flap Shaman, whichever one you want to call it. This is his answer to Lycanroc, I guess, or an extra non-Jex attacker. The annoying thing about this is it can't deal with Buzzgarb Shrine at all, so it's like he's dedicated 3 slots to non-GX attackers, when a lot of the time you just see 2 slots. At the moment I'm testing 1 Lugia, 1 Delmise. I don't know if I like the Flippity Flap Shaman, but he played it. It gives him an extra thing that can draw cards, I guess. But other than that, standard Pokemon count, standard energy count. 2 copies of Fan Club with no copies of Lily at all is really interesting. He did, however, play 1 Steven's Resolve, which is also pretty weird. I'm still not a fan of Steven's Resolve in this deck at all.
I was gonna say, is it weird? 'Cause I think 2 of my 3 Vika Rays this weekend play Steven's Resolve.
It's kind of like hold
0
on.
of mine played
we
it.
We can use a great feature on Limitless in a bit to see if it's standard, but we can see what percentage of people play it. But
I can kind of see the nice thing about it, because if you Steven's Resolve either before or after Tempest, they probably don't have their judge effect for the second one. But the thing is, you want to be Tempesting turn 1 into attacking turn 2. So at the same time, it's kind of awkward if you're not attacking, you're Steven's Resolving instead because you're not attacking.
Yeah, I mean, if it's turn 2, you're Tempesting, unless you've got fairly unlucky. But on turn 1, you can only use Steven's Resolve if you already have a Grubbin down. So you need to have pretty specific hands to make it work. Whereas Lily's just fine.
And only 2 Nest Ball limits that.
Yeah.
And it seems like Frankfurt was his go-to supporter. So where Steven's Resolve falls into that, it's like you say, it's those turn 1s where you get that optimal turn 1, which feels like only a small percentage.
Yeah. I would still play at least 1 Lily.
Yeah.
At least. Sevi Debbie, thanks so much for the sub as well. From their standard counts of everything else, 1 Rope instead of 1 Switch, I guess is interesting as a choice, but that's pretty minor compared to anything else. So I don't mind seeing Shining Lugia going forward, but I think I would like to see Delmise still.
I mean, we may be missing something. I don't know, but without a choice band in the list, I don't understand the shaming. 90, is it enough? Probably not in a lot of matchups.
No, it's 30 plus 90.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
It does do it, yeah. Okay.
It's got a choice band on it already.
He's happy again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it now.
Right. We saw a Shining Lugia Malamar claim top 4. 3 Shining Lugias, 2 Cocos, 1 Deoxys, 1 Mimikyu, 1 Necrozma GX, which puts a buttload of damage counters onto the board, 1 Let Loose, 1 Oranguru, and 1 Pseudo Wudo. From this lineup of cards, I'm pretty surprised to not see what's it called? The Psychic Tapu Lele, but I think everything else is fairly natural. I think a lower Coco count from many as well. It's a higher Shining Lugia count than it is Coco. What do you think about that? Is it just...
Yeah, I mean, I played against this list.
Yeah.
There's a guy I lost to round 3 of day 2. And it feels like, again, there's no Lele for turn 1, so it can crap out, but with that many ball search, there's always a chance that obviously 4 Acrobite, 4 Lady, 4 City does give you a bit more dig if you need to. But it's interesting. I was hoping the GX would come down, or he'd start with it to give me a bit more fighting chance, but hey, it worked for him. Fair play.
Yeah.
I'd be super interested to see his matchup, because personally in my testing it felt like Zoro was a super difficult matchup.
The pseudo definitely helps that though. I faced this deck and tied to it only because I was able to win a game where he drew badly, and that's because Pseudo Wudo just really is such a pain for Zoro. Such a pain.
I spoke to Tommy Roberts, he's been playing the deck for 3, 4, 5 weeks now.
Yeah.
He said to me, Pseudo initially seems bad, but he actually didn't mind. Not Pseudo. Zoro initially seemed bad, but he actually didn't mind seeing them day 2. So he actually felt Zoro Rock was one of his most favourable matchups.
They need to put a lot of Zoros down a lot of the time.
So yeah.
Which is really good.
I can see. I haven't tested with the deck itself. I've only tested against it with Zoro, where I felt relatively in control. But I can see. But then that was never with Zoro Rock. So with that being said, maybe it's just because I was playing a Zoro variant that naturally has a better time against it. But yeah, in general, I props for doing well with a different Malamar list. It feels like all 3 of the Malamar lists are kind of viable right now. Ultra's the ones that's seeing the least representation. Maybe it's the worst, maybe it's not. I played it against the super cool Ultra Mali list day 2, which I'll talk about after we've talked about all of these lists.
So from there, it's really standard shell.
Does this list as standard not play Dawnwings then?
Yeah,
it doesn't play Dawnwings.
Okay.
Buzzgarb also top 4. 2/2 Cargo, 1/1 Weavile, as we've come to know. Also plays the Pseudo Wudo. Played the 1 Counter Energy. So this looks very close to the list that we saw from Philly. It might actually be the same 6. So pretty good. Pedro played a Buzzrock, slightly different to Luke's build. He played a DCE and a 2/2 Cargo line. So thicker Mag Cargo engine, which I'm not opposed to. It's just I didn't really like seeing 2B string. I don't think that's a cuttable. Playing multi-switch is an interesting addition. But yeah, I don't mind 2/2 slugs. You can never say no to it because it draws you cards, or it gets you the right cards.
I'm gonna say I can understand his thought process behind the 2B string, because theoretically you don't draw them as much, which means you don't draw them early and discard them, but you still, because you have 2/2 Cargo, you probably draw into them on the turns you need them. But I still think I do prefer 3B string on crazy turns. I 3B stringed once during this weekend, and it is such a ball swing.
It's impossible to lose if you hit 3. I think it's almost impossible to lose if you hit 2, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely agree.
I would say the prizing issue is going to be a problem if you only have access to 1 in a game sometimes.
In a lot of matchups, because we had obviously the XP shares, the 4 prize turn, I would say there's only perhaps a handful of games where I use more than one B string.
Yeah, but that's also like he wasn't playing EXP share, so it's even more realistic. It's even more important for him to hit B strings rather than one.
Yeah,
Jake, thanks for the sub,
definitely.
by the way. So we saw a really interesting Zorro Buzz list. 2 Buzz GX, 1 Baby Buzz, 1 Lycanroc, 1 Diancie, and 2 Lele. Saka Scoop, cheers for the follow, dude. And this is actually really interesting because I played in a cup 2 weeks ago with this little package of Buzzwole. I played a Diancie, 2 Baby Buzz, and a Beast Energy. And I really did enjoy it, to be fair. But this has gone even further on that camp by having 2 B strings in here as well to try and have big bursty turns with Buzzwole. I tried this I tried it before Worlds and I thought it was absolutely terrible, but the format is really different now. It's interesting that he plays no way to like recycle energies into his deck.
That is the one thing that, having played against it and looking at his list now, only 6 fighting energy. It's frustrating because he always had it on the turn. He needed it where it was relevant.
Really annoying
honestly,
for you.
seeing it is really frustrating that they only played 6. I'm like, oh, come on.
It played no copies of Fan Club or Apricorn, so just trying to get lilies and stuff going. Got the 4 Nest Ball, 4 Ultra, 2 Beast, 1 Blower, 1 Pal Pad, 2 Policies as well, which can be really irritating. So pretty interesting going forward. I don't know if this is going to be picked up too much, because there are some interesting counts. I would definitely like to see an energy recycler come in here, because then it also just gives you the fighting energies become free trades for you as well, which is really nice.
Yeah.
As long as you're holding on to that energy recycle system, you can be like, this is absolutely awesome. I have 6 cards I can trade away happy as Larry and get them back in on the B string turn. But yeah, early Buzz pressure just wins games for mirrors, so that's awesome. And it can one-hit KO stuff like Raise as well, so similar to what you were saying, Luke, if you can get into that 4 prize turn, it's going to be really nice for you.
Yeah.
Sander played Steelix, Hooper, Warlord. I'm not going to try and talk about why these cards are in here, but ultimately, Steelix has 190 hit points, psychic resistance, can put a steel frying pan or a dumbbells onto him. It can tackle for 2 energy and do 30, which can give you some damage pressure. This deck does actually do damage because you play 2 shrines and you sometimes use this Fairy Lele to magical swap your way to take prizes against potential threats coming onto the board, or just to actually win on prize trade. The Fairy Lele also can knock out a thingamajig, a Rayquaza, thanks to some Shrine Prior damage. And it does play a Stretcher as well, and those 2 energies, so you can actually sometimes overcome Rays, which is hilarious. The Warlord line, I think he said he put it in here for metal matchups, because a Dumbbells Warlord can get around Duskmane 1-hit KO, which the Steelix can't, so I think it's literally just in here for an extra big dude. So that's hilarious.
You know for a fact he saw this card, he saw stage 1, 220 HP, and was like, right,
Rubbing his hands.
let me break this.
Yeah.
Props for the most innovative deck list of this weekend.
Yeah. The one Articuno for the Cold Crush GX can again slow down a Ray player, or you can trap a... This is how you can trap the 1 Dawn Wings that you see.
Yeah.
So that they can't rush in anymore. If people only play 1 copy, you just trap that 1 Dawn Wings and you try and Acerola at your bench so they can't just Guzma out of it, I guess. Force Demon's Resolve grabs you all your pieces and your tech cards in those sorts of matchups. Lusamine Loop, obviously there. Plumeria, Fan Club, Copycat. All sorts going on here. You can do that 1 Tantalizer, 1 Guzma thing to stall things and move your Warlord out of the way again, which we saw him doing on stream. 1 copy of Looker, 1 alongside his Guru, which is hilarious. Max Pots, Counter Catchers, Crushings. You know all the stuff at this point. 1 copy of Brooklet as well. Look at that synergy. the two Whalmers. I don't know what the relevance of having two is. One has 120 hit points and one... Oops. Do they both have 120 hit points? Oh, they do. I don't know why he plays two different ones, but oh well. That's funny. This can splash for 20.
And so that this feels like maybe he couldn't get access to another one.
Maybe. He does play counter energy though, so he could splash for 20.
Splash.
Incredible.
Brooke is searching for your Onyxes and your Whalmers as jokes.
Yeah, Onyx as well. Ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, by all means, try this list out yourself. I'm not gonna try and say cut or change any card. The one that stands out for me is one acrobike is really weird. It's so weird that he just plays one acrobike. But yeah, I think he's tried his best to make the perfect 60, and I know he's played this at Cups, so it's battle tested.
I must admit, we were a little bit aware of it a couple of days before the tournament.
Yeah.
And I think none of us knew what on earth, like how to even think about how to play against it, play test against it, because we just didn't know how to build the deck.
You literally can't play test against it because none of your friends would know how to play it like Sander does anyway. So you just can't test against a deck like this, and you just have to, I don't know, hope that your deck has answers randomly, I guess.
When was the last time Sander succeeded with a non-mill deck, or has he just played mill decks all the time?
Since I've known him playing mill.
Even when, like, mill really wasn't good, just after Malamar's...
Oh, yeah, he was Raichu guy at Internats.
Raichu Hydreigon.
He made Raichu Hydreigon,
well.
and he made Raichu before Hydreigon. Raichu,
Heatmore.
Yeah.
What
Playing
a
it for ages.
great guy.
Yeah.
What an absolute baller.
Right, so quickly running down. Buzzgarb stuffs, Psychic Squids with Adam. Gavin as well, another UK guy. Quite a good tournament for the UK. Quite a handful of them up there.
Yep.
Gavin with Zygarde Lycanroc. He did employ the Zygarde in his list, if it will let me find it. And this could be becoming more of a feature if Sylveon is on the radar.
Hydreigon Sword.
Yeah, I actually sat next to the match where Gavin played against Hampus at one, and Gavin, with having that Zygarde, there's not a lot Sylveon can do in terms of getting rid of energy, because they just put it straight back on.
So other than that, we're seeing lots of standard stuff. Philip Lesajewski with Coco Weavile spread variant with Poison Barbs and Survivor. Yeah, pretty insane.
This is another super cool deck to watch.
Poison Barb and Survivor obviously is going to be way more helpful than Choice Band against Buzzgarb Shrine. I imagine that's the reason why he's playing the poison stuff. I can't think of any other reason why he'd play this. Like, he plays 3 Barbs and 1 Band. Is it literally just to have a winnable matchup against Buzz Shrine? Is that what it is?
I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
He's playing the 3 and a 2-1 split of the Weavile, one little Rule of Evil. 2-2 Cargo and Guru, so he's still running that engine. This engine is just absolutely repping. This engine is absolutely insane in the game right now.
The Guru Cargo
for
engine?
Shrine decks, yeah.
I think it compensates for the lack of draw supporters that we have. It gives you something different.
Rednax, what I think of Alex Dow's deck? It's actually Luke's deck. But Alex played one different
Alex
card.
Dow made it, right?
About that.
So yeah, it's kind of like a Team Complexity deck. And by Team Complexity, I mean Luke told us all to play the best deck, and he was right. But yeah, I think Buzzrock going forward is very strong. Obviously, we like Alex's deck. What else we got going on in here? He's got a Latios and a Buzzwole, so he's got lots of different non-GX attackers. This Fairy Lele as well, double stretcher. So sometimes you just answer Rays just by that alone. I can see more people teching for Ray even heavier going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Lily's Guzmas. Only 2 Guzmas, interesting. But yeah, pretty interesting to see this deck. I got absolutely obliterated by a list with Honchkrow. But yeah. Vika Rays, Zorocargo. I think that's... let's look at Andre's Persimmon list. We sort of have to, don't we? So again, he's got the engine. What a god. Got the Copycat Mimikyu with counter energies. Got that Fairy Lele, obviously. 4 copies of Tapu Koko. 4! In Persimmon. Hello. So crazy. So
Can't play Mew anymore. We've got to soften everything up first.
playing Shrines as well, so just trying to get everything into range.
I think this is so cool.
Choice band switch. So bizarre. Really crazy. Get things into range so that team play actually gets into the knockout zone. Pretty wild.
I'm in. I like it.
I mean, you have time, I guess, because you're all non-GX. It's just this card, man. It makes everything so reasonable. Just Shrine makes everything not stupid. It's so weird. Oh dear. Yeah, pretty beast. Have we seen the bottom Zoro cargo list? Oh
Zoro
my
and
god.
friends.
This is a deck. Benji fam, you can see Benji here. Snuck into top 32 with Zoro Lycanroc, okay? Nothing to see, you think, right?
He
Nothing
played
interesting
that,
going on here.
but he wanted to play something very different.
He is the man who made Zoro Friends, okay? And Zoro Friends, we'll just skip straight to the bottom. Lorenz, obviously, one of his mates from the Netherlands. He played the Zoro Friends deck. So Benji, he's been testing Zoro Friends since like the start of the Sun and Moon on ladder, I think.
Yeah.
Just saying that let's have a draw engine and answers for everything we want, and it leads to having a 2-1 Lycanroc, 2-1 Banette, 2-1 Weavile. And when Benji was actually testing this, he also had a 2-1 Garb and I think a 2-1 Golisopod as well.
2 on Pod as well.
So he had literally everything in the list. So it was Zoro everything, basically. What I absolutely love about his list, Lawrence isn't even playing Friend Ball. You can play Friend Ball and get everything out. But yeah, he plays 23 Pokemon, so Great Ball's absolutely bonkers. And you just trade away everything that's not good.
Friendly Zoro and friends.
Yeah, it's called Ultimate Zoroark because Smash Bros. Ultimate, everyone is here. That's literally this Zoroark deck. So it's everyone is here, Zoroark. And you just get out the ones that are good in the matchup and hope not to prize them, basically. Yeah, Benji was really gunning for this deck. It's pretty much how Tamao came up with the Zoro Weavile Banette deck as well. I think he started on Ultimate Zoro and started cutting the fat here and there. And said that Weavile and Banette should be enough. And he wasn't wrong. Gladion as well.
Deck's jokes.
So crazy. It must have been really fun to pilot that deck at the very least. But you must have so many opening hands where you're like, what am I doing here? Yeah.
What do I need?
Benji's a madman. Even off played Ho Salazzle. I know he did an article on the deck for Poker Beach. Interesting that he carried on playing Salazzle and didn't just go for the Victini Prism. I'll have to read the article to see his thoughts on it. He played the Fire Salander as well, so he's not playing the Treasure engine to have higher Kiawe odds. A couple Tantalizers. Some pretty interesting decisions here. I haven't read his article yet, so... But man, look at all these 4-ofs. Just so simple. He's cool. Just, you know what? Kiawe is good enough for me. Let's get all the 4-ofs in here. Pretty wild.
That's going to be one of the shortest lists I've ever seen.
Yeah. I'm not a betting man, but if I had to, I'd say that gets onto 2 lines, and I'm on board. Broken. Yeah. So, that's pretty much a rundown. Did you find it? Do you know where I could look to find that day 1 breakdown, Jack?
I can send you it.
Oh, you little.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah, Zora Ultimate. Our chat has been full of that deck for way too long.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's been validated, even worse. Okay, so here's the last thing we'll look at. It's just the full list of what everyone was playing, broken down. It's pretty difficult to read, but I'll just tell you. So the Shrine stuff, Buzzwell with other stuff, basically, Baby Buzz Shrine, 14%. Vika Ray was the most popular deck played in Frankfurt, 16%. Zora Lycan, 14. Malamar Necrozma was 11. Other Zoro variants outside of Lycanroc was 11%. Solgaleo Metagross was 5%. Shining Lugia Malamar, 5%. Ultra Necrozma, only 3%, which is pretty interesting. Buzzrock, only 4%, so really high conversion. GC 04292, thanks for the follow. Dustmane Magnezone, 3%. And Vika Bulu was also... Oh, God, my computer's gone everywhere again. God, my computer's so bad. I hope everyone can still see this. No, they can't. Okay, give me 1 sec.
I mean, looking at that, it amazes me to see that more people played Solgaleo Metagross than they did Buzzrock.
Yeah, I mean, that's just wild, isn't it? It did make top 8 in Philly, to be fair.
Yeah, true.
3 Vika Bulu and then 11% other, which is, again, just the Sylveons, the Salazzles, the Steelixes, all that jazz. So, yeah. I'm absolutely knackered. So that's going to be where we end it today, guys.
Mm-hmm.
On Wednesday, don't know what we're going to be doing, but yeah, thanks for watching. That's the worst interlude ever.
On Wednesday, we're going to be looking back at our Celestial Storm review and seeing how well we did on ranking cards.
Excellent. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, everyone.